Hello all of my crafty friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Pretty Pink Craft Room. I'm hopping on today to share with you a quick and easy project that I recently did using my scraps to create a simple mini album that is all made from cardstock. No chipboard required, very simple. It's an accordion fold, so no hinging or anything like that. So let me show you what it looks like. This is of course the cover, and I just used some tulle to tie it all together. The cover says, "Sometimes I believe in as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." So this is some scraps from a leftover paper pack featuring Alice in Wonderland, and this is from Country Craft Creations, and so you may be able to even find this paper stock still on their website. I will link their website or their page below, but this is such a beautiful paper pack that I previously used in another project and had these leftovers, so I wanted to use it for this as well. So the entire project measures 5 by 5.5, and it has a 1-inch spine, so that's the spine there, and then this is the back. And so I'm going to just untie it so you can see what it looks like. And everything in here is an accordion fold. So again, no hinging, but as you open it, the front page, there is a pocket here, and I just added one of the journal cards there. And you can add photos on the back, of course. This is page 1. I didn't do over decorating, left it kind of flat or created a tuck spot like here to insert a picture, but very simple decorating and matting, as you can see there. So that's the next page, and then when you go to this page, this is another journal card that I just mounted and created another spot for photos. And then it opens this way. Here's a pocket with the tag inside there, and then it folds this way. So all of this is simple accordion folding, and it repeats the same idea on this side. Again, photo matting there, and then when you turn, here's another tag here, and then you keep turning, and then there's more areas for photos, and then you can just go back the other way, and here. And this is the last page with a pocket, and you have a journal card there. So I wanted to show you quickly how I made this project. Again, very simple, very easy crafting, but it also makes a beautiful gift for someone in case you want to gift it. It's very petite, very small, compact, but room for lots of photos inside, and very simple to make, so you could make this in mass abundance if you wanted to. So if that is something that interests you, again, I hope that you'll stick around and craft with me. So to start in creating the base of your mini album, you will need a sheet of cardstock that measures 6.5 by 12, and again, this is regular 65-pound weight cardstock. It's measured 6.5 by 12, and you are going to score this on all 4 sides by 1/2 inch. So this is a technique that I saw on Let's Get Scrappy, Tiffany's channel, Let's Get Scrappy. I'm sure you have seen her channel. She does wonderful, amazing projects. If you have not seen it, I will definitely link it in the description below. But I'm pretty sure many of you have seen her beautiful projects that she creates. I watch her channel all the time. So the way she does it is she creates a protective edge around the edges of your mini album, because when I would normally make the cardstock mini albums, I would just fold my paper, create a spine, and allow the edges to stand as they were. But over time, I would notice that my edges would start to curl up, they would dog-eared, they wouldn't stay as protected as I wanted them to do. So she showed this technique, and once I saw it, I said, oh, that's wonderful. I mean, it's a very simple technique. You're just scoring at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. But once you do it, you immediately realize that, oh my goodness, I should have been doing this all along to protect my albums. But that's the joy of crafting, and that's why we always watch so many crafting videos, is because we learn so much from the people that we watch. So that is what it is all about. So I have scored at 1/2 inch on all 4 sides, and so to create my spine, I am now going to score at 5.5 and 6.5, and that will create a 1-inch spine in the middle here. So now that I've scored on all 4 sides, I'm going to have to miter the edges so that they will fold properly. So all that is doing is I'm just cutting off between those 2 score lines, going against them, and cutting off those edges here. Or I should say corners, not edges. I apologize. So now that I've done that part, I also am going to need to cut out, I would call them divots here. That's probably not the proper technical term, but you're just cutting off little triangles so that the paper will lay, and you're using the score line as your middle gauge of cutting at an angle on both sides. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You may have some loose sections that you may have to cut away. I typically do, because I am just not the straightest cutter. So I do my best, of course, but this is how it will look now once you've cut out those little triangles on the spine there too. So all I'm going to do is fold all of these edges and add my glue so that I can secure them down. So yeah, I was thinking that this kind of project could be very helpful in creating a quick gift for someone. It also might be a good project if you have like a leftover 6x6 paper pad that you are not quite sure what you're going to use it for, and you want something that could conceivably kill a paper pad that you may have left, some scraps that you may have, because you're going to see that there are multiple pages that need to be covered with this project. So you could kill an entire paper pad with this. So it definitely can be done. Okay, so I'm going to now add the glue and secure down these edges here. I'm not sure where you guys are, but here in LA we are dealing with a heat wave here that is very extreme for us, at least, because it is not the kind of weather we are used to. So when it happens, it really, at least for me, it throws me for a loop, and it gives me headaches when it does happen. So as the years have gone by, though, the heat has gotten more intense, and I actually stay near the coastal cities. So I am about maybe, I would estimate I'm about maybe 10 minutes from the beach. So I am not even inland, but the heat here is still extreme, even with me being so close to the ocean, and I should have the ocean breeze or a measure of it, but it doesn't matter. It is still just extremely hot. So we have to sit under fans and air conditioning and all of that, when we, in previous years, many years ago, we didn't have to worry about that because, you know, we were just so close to the ocean. But right now, it is not benefiting us the way we would like. So it creates a lot of creates headaches for me, which leaves me feeling very lethargic, and usually makes me only want to lay around in my bed and not do much of anything, which is not productive. So it is good. It is very good for me to get up and craft and create projects that I know that I will enjoy making anyway. So I'm just cutting away some of these loose papers here, or these loose strands here, loose sections of paper. Okay, and all I did was cut my, fold my spine, and now you'll see that you have created your base project, and this is how it looks. So now to create my inserts, I'm going to take 4 sheets. Actually, I have 5 here. Wow, I don't need 5. but there are 4 sheets and they should all be 5.5 by 12 inches. So they're all 5.5 by 12. At least I did cut that properly. And I have 4 sheets here. So we're going to cut, let's take our first one. And we're not cutting, we're scoring. Can you guys tell how the heat is bothering me? I can't even get my words properly expressed. I apologize, you guys. I will try to get this together. So I'm going to take my first one, which is 5.5 by 12, and I'm going to score it at 2.5, 6 5/8, and then 11.5. And you just fold it accordion style. So you fold it away, away from you, towards you, away from you, just back and forth. And you could do that in reverse if you wanted to. It's all going to come out the same way. You just want to make sure that you are creating an accordion, and at the end it just creates mountains and valleys, like so. This is the part where you're going to affix another page. So I'm going to take a second 5 by 12. And I'm going to score that at 4 7/8, and then 9 3/4. So again, that was 4 7/8 and 9 3/4, and this is what it comes out to. And then again, I'm just doing a mountain and a valley, and that creates another section of the accordion, and then I will crease these score lines down. So bringing back the original page that you just cut, you remember you had a 1/2 inch flap here. I'm going to miter that edge so that it, once it lays down, it's not visible. So I still have this like this, and I have the 1/2 inch flap. And I want to take this section that I just cut, and I'm going to turn it so that this edge, not the folded edge, but the full panel edge, I need that to be faced towards the outside so that I can affix this little 1/2 inch flap. So again, I'm just attaching this 1/2 inch flap to this edge here to create a larger accordion. So let me add my glue. And we'll repeat the same process just in case anything of what I said wasn't clear. So we'll attach this 1/2 inch flap to this edge here, and then we'll try to even that up as much as possible. Okay, and then I'm just gonna allow that glue to stick down. So now you have one huge accordion with mountains and valleys like so. So the front panel measures 2.5, and that's your front flap. The back panel measures 2 1/4, and that will become the pocket on the base of your album. So 2.5, 2 1/4, and then you have accordion pages in the middle. So let's repeat that same process for the final 2 pages. So I'll take another 5.5 by 12, and I'm going to score that at 2.5, and then 6 5/8, and then 11.5. And then I will mountain, valley, mountain, however which way sounds better for you. Accordion, I think you can also call it concertina, or mountain and valleys, like so. And then I will take the last 5 by 12 and repeat the same thing we did on the other one, and score it at 4 7/8, and then 9 3/4. And again, back and forth, folding. So simple, right, you guys? Great for a day like this where I'm not able to think very well. So again, I will cut these edges off of the flap. Then I will find my second piece, and then we will attach just that 1/2 inch flap there to my project. And again, I'm attaching it to this edge piece here. so that it can create one big piece all together. Okay, and now you have one big accordion piece here. Okay, so now bring back in my base. And the way you want this, remember this is your 2.5, and then at the back is your 2.25 pocket. Your pocket is what you want to affix to the base. It is how you will attach everything to the base. So the pocket fold here, this pocket fold, this is your pocket, this is your fold. So this is the opening and this is the fold. You want the fold to be towards the spine. So I'm going to turn this so that my fold of my pocket is like so, and now my pocket will rest in the base of my project like that, and then it'll be an opening here. So I'll apply glue to these 3 sides, and this will remain my opening. So hopefully that makes sense, and we will again repeat it on the second side as well. So I'm applying glue on just 3 edges here, and then I'm going to attach this so that I am not going over. Let me stop rotating so I don't make you dizzy. I'm not going over this score line. I'm just going right next to it and evening out everything. So let me just open this to make sure that my pocket is straight, which it is not. Try to get that straight. Try to make sure I'm straight on both sides. Here and here and here. Okay. Great. So what you will have now is you'll have all of your accordion pages attached, and then at the back you will have this pocket here where you can insert even more photos. So you can already see that there's ample room here for photos. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on this side 5, 6, 7, 8, and then of course you have a pocket here for even more photos, and that's just the one side. So then you can go over to the other side and you can add even more photos, and I'm only accounting for if you're just putting 1 photo per page. You may have smaller photos that you can even put more of them per page, but you can see how there is a lot of room there for you to add your pictures and to make room like that. So again, just to repeat, I have my 2.25 panel here, 2.25 by 5.5 panel here, and this is my pocket, and this part is my opening, and this is the back, the edge of my pocket. So this is the part where I want to line it up against my spine, not going over that line, but going right next to that line, and then adding the pocket there. So I'm just going to add glue on. Get this glue to come out. Yeah, adding glue on 3 sides, and then affixing it down right next to that spine like so, and then lining everything up. Move that out of the way. And then just checking to see how my pocket is lined up. Not too bad. Good, good, good. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. Okay, and so when you open it like this and you lay it flat, you can see how you can create that look with it pulling all apart like so. But again, it just, oh, the glue kind of seeped out. Let me get that off here. But it does create a nice little photo album with all of this space. And I do want to point out too that I love this idea too, because there is so much room for decorating and for adding photos, and it doesn't bulk out too much. Let me bring back in the original project so you can see what I'm talking about here too. So again, this is the one that I originally made, and if you notice, there is still a lot of room inside here for as it allows for bulking up with photos, and I matted every single one of these pages. So even with the matting, like I added white backgrounds to every single one of these pages. So even with all of that matting, it still left so much room for photos that can be added to. So there is ample space in here to add all of your pictures. If you want to add more ephemera, if you want to pop up things, or if you want to add more what am I trying to say, more designs and things like that, you certainly have the space to do that because there's just a lot of room here. So that is the project that I wanted to share with you guys very quickly. Again, I'm just hopping on really quick because it was something I found I was able to do with some scraps that I had in my stash, and so this is certainly an idea of something that you can do with your scraps as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for sticking with me through this tutorial. I hope it is something you enjoyed. I look forward to, if you feel so inclined, to reading any comments that you may have, or any suggestions or any feedback you have. Would love to hear it. Thank you all once again for supporting my channel in every way that you do. I greatly appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you next time. Bye.